For seated 90-90 hip external rotation, you'll be seated in something that allows you to be at a pretty close to 90-degree angle between your torso and your legs. Then what Austin's going to do is he's going to take his right hand, he's going to place it on the kind of bottom outside corner of his thigh. If your arms aren't long enough to get this far down, it's okay to do it a little bit more proximal, closer to your hip, but we want to get it down there if possible. Now what he's going to do is he's going to, while he's keeping pressure out here into his hand, he's going to start spinning his femur kind of around an axis running right through his knee until his heel cups right underneath this kind of ankle bone right in here. He's trying to cup right underneath his ankle bone. He's got pressure into this bone while he's got pressure out with his hand here, and he's kind of pushing in both of those directions at the same time. That's how we create this hip rotation. The muscles he should be feeling should be right back here, kind of on the backside of his hip. These muscles live between the outside bony part of your hip and your kind of sit bone sacrum area. So when you're performing this movement, they kind of pull down here. So you should be feeling that contraction back in this area. So one more time, he's rested back into the seat. He's going to keep this pressure out into his hand. He's going to spin his femur to bring his foot over and hook his heel underneath the inside of his ankle bone on the leg that's not involved. He's going to keep pressure on that, keep pressure down and out here while he squeezes these muscles out here the whole time. Really common mistakes on this are to not keep the pressure here into the outside of your thigh. So if he was to bring this over and then his whole thigh kind of comes in with it, we're going to feel a lot of work in here on the inside of your thigh and the adductor area, which is not what we want. Another common mistake is to place this foot too far away. So he's trying to make it over here, but he has to bring this in order to get there. So we're going to have to find for your mid-range where this other foot needs to be so that you can pretty easily get this over here and hook underneath while you're pushing in these directions kind of at the same time. If you feel a whole lot of work going on the front of your hip here instead of in our desired location, what you can do is get this over underneath your ankle bone here and then focus a little bit more on pushing down with your thigh rather than just straight down and out. If you really try to push it down, that'll help us bias these muscles back here. So one more time, taking it from the top to do things correctly. Austin's going to be leaned back in here. He's going to spin over to the side. He's going to drive his thigh down and out and his foot kind of up and in into his ankle bone and hold that for the desired time at the desired intensity.